Hey, what is going on, people? This is the Tenchi, and I'm just here to give my first impressions on the latest Netflix original cartoon show, Inspector Gadget. Now, um, I had no idea that this show was even coming out until the trailer came out, and even that sideswiped me. It completely just caught me off guard. I'm like, Inspector Gadget is getting a new show, and I'm like, okay, it's CGI. What did what did they do? And after watching the first episode, which is basically two episodes in one, I have to say I like it. They didn't really change much. It has that Scooby Doo, that kind of Scooby Doo thing going for it. You know how Scooby Doo gets revamped every few years. It seems like, and the only thing that changes is some of the techniques they may use while solving mysteries. But other than that, the characters tend to remain the same, and the situations kind of remain the same. Um, Same thing with Inspector Gadget. Few key differences besides the animation. Penny is 14 years old now, whereas before she was 8 years old. Now, apparently, this is supposed to be a sequel series to the original, and I can totally understand why. It's a few years later. Penny's older. She's working with she's training with the agency that Inspector Gadget's under. Inspector Gadget's enjoying his retirement. Dr. Claw has been frozen in a glacier for years and still has a grudge against the agency, and he has still has plans to destroy Inspector Gadget and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, and he's still shrouded in mystery. Now, let me talk about the animation. Animation is a nice, nicely rendered 3D environment. But one thing I have to ask, and this is just probably me being nitpicky, why is every character in this show skinny? They're extremely skinny. I'm a thin guy. I'm a really skinny guy, so I know skinny when I see it. And these characters are like sticks. You know what I'm saying? Like Inspector Gadget, he's always been skinny. The only thing that's been bulky on him is his coat. Okay, but everybody from Chief Quimby to Penny to Brain, to even Dr. Claw, really skinny looking. Interesting choice there. But that doesn't take away from the enjoyability of the show. It doesn't take away from the fact that I did really enjoy it. They didn't change much except for a few modern machines that they use. Like for example, instead of Penny's computer book, she uses a holographic laptop computer, which she can make appear. You know what I'm saying? Instead of Brain trying to having to find disguises to help Inspector Gadget, he has this machine on his collar that basically makes disguises for him. He chooses and selects the disguises. You know what I mean? And yeah, so they and the Gadget Mobile. The Gadget Mobile has been replaced with a what looks to be a smaller car. Um, but they give a reason for that. We do see the Gadget Mobile, but we also see it fall apart and turn into dust shortly after. So yeah, that's the reason they give for replacing it with a new modern car, and that's totally understandable. Now, Inspector Gadget, how is Inspector Gadget? He's still Inspector Gadget. He's still lovable. He's still incompetent. He's still solving mysteries, having no idea how he did it in the first place, and Penny's still helping him. Now they added a new character by the name of Talon, who happens to be Dr. Claw's nephew. Surprise, surprise! There, it seems like every time they do a continuation of something from before, we find out that the people that we were against, whether it be an enemy or an anti-hero or whatever, happen to have a relative that is now under their wing. This is nothing. This is nothing new. So yeah, Talon is a super genius who has who has worked with with all types of math and physics and has degrees and blah blah blah, and he's Penny's age. So what do? They kind of have them crushing on each other. But since he's evil, and they don't discover that until like later on in the show, now she's conflicted. I mean, yeah, and this kid, he's crushing on her bad. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't stop him from doing what he has to do. Plus, he kind of gets at his uncle a little bit for doing things the old-fashioned way. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like doing it the shorter way. And I can understand that. And it's funny. Now, one joke that they kept going with until the end of the show was the fact that Dr. Claw lost his claw. We figure out why he lost his claw and where it is, but during this time, he has like a sort of a OCD issue. He's like, I want my claw, I want my claw, I want a new claw. So what does he do? He puts like gloves on to replace it. And I'm like, okay, this is a little campy, a little funny, haha, I get it. But other than that, it was pretty much like watching. It was pretty much like watching the original show, except with a little bit of modern tech put in. They even revamped slightly the original Inspector Gadget opening theme and the opening animated sequence, but they did it as like an homage to the original one, where like they would do like the same kind of sequences, everything from where Gadget gets his gets a mission from Chief Quimby, to him riding around in the Gadget Mobile, to him doing the helicopter thing. All that's there to the end of the sequence where he ends up becoming the Eye in Inspector. All that's there, except it with a little bit of a modern twist, and they didn't like heavily remix it. There's no dubstep or anything else in there. It's just a modern take on this opening sequence. The voice acting is good, and like I said, I like the animation. I just don't understand why every freaking character there is skinny. I don't know, but anyway, let me know what you guys think. And this is a Netflix series, so they already have a bulk of the first season already out on Netflix. I don't know if I should review the episodes one by one, or should I just do this? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know what you guys think of the show if you've seen it. I would recommend it if you want some nostalgia with a little bit of new stuff added in, you know what I mean? Let me know, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, love, and never be normal.